Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio, so today I'm going to be showing you a new GX. And when I say new GX, I use that term kind of loosely, because it is in fact an alternate type reprint. Now, I am being a little bit presumptuous right now. We have seen Dialga-GX, that started life as a dragon, be reprinted, in Japan at least, as a water Pokemon, so I am just going ahead and assuming that the Dragon Dialga is going to be reprinted as a metal Pokemon. And if it's not, I'm not going to waste this video, I'm just going to repurpose it as a what if Dialga was reprinted as a metal Pokemon. I was going to do this presumptively for the Torterra being a fighting Pokemon, but it was revealed before I could actually do that. So I'm recording this on Saturday afternoon. I don't know when this video is going up, but I am so sure that we are getting a Metal-type Palkia. I'm making this video in advance. Although, I suppose by the time you listen to this, it's already going to have been revealed. Hey-ho. Now, Dialga is just better as a metal Pokemon. As I said in my Palkia video, Dragon kinda sucks. You're not hitting anything for weakness. And in terms of extra hints and tips and tricks and fun things that you can do, you have Devoured Field. You do an extra 10 damage on your attacks. That's it. It's all you get. It's a stadium, so it doesn't even stack. Now, if we now go into the metal typing, we've got Delmise, that also allows you to do an extra 10 damage for all of your attacks, except it's a Pokemon rather than a stadium, so you can have multiples of them in play. Well, that sounds like a pretty good thing. We've got Mount Coronet, the stadium coming out that allows you to put 2 metal energies from your discard pile into your hand, which is good because it means that you're not going to be running short of metal energy anytime soon. We've got the new Solgaleo coming out, which of course is important because it means that all of your Pokemon have no weakness. So if you play this with Dialga, and I think there's a very good chance you will, you then have a Dialga that has no weakness, which is really quite cool. Now, in terms of getting the energy, we'll talk about the attacks in a minute. They're the same as before. I will obviously link my initial Dialga video in the description for this one. But they're kind of expensive, but we've got options. One of them is this new Solgaleo that for a double colorless energy does 120 damage and attaches 2 energy from your discard to one of your bench Pokemon. And we've got the upcoming Magnezone, whose ability is the same as the existing Lightning-type Magnezone from Breakthrough, in that you can just attach as many metal energy as you like during your turn. That's a very good thing. So, being a metal Pokemon, we got all kinds of options, and that's even before we bring up the fact that we're getting Metal Frying Pan, the new item card, the new tool that you attach to one of your metal Pokemon, removes your weakness and means that attacks do 30 less to you. And you're hitting for weakness against Gardevoir, and you're hitting for weakness against Glaceon, which I think is going to be pretty good. And like I said in the Palkia video, having a metal-type Pokemon means you can use Cyrus Prism Star, which isn't particularly great, but that's not the point. You can't use it if you've got a Dragon Pokemon in the active. You can if you've got a metal. And this is all just a very long-winded way of explaining why it is so much better to be a metal Pokemon than a Dragon Pokemon. Now, in terms of weakness, you lose the Fairy weakness, which is good if Gardevoir stays good, and you actually go from being weak to hitting 4 weakness, which is great. And the Fire weakness could actually be a bit rubbish, because Metal Pokemon are about to be really good, so that means that Fire Pokemon like Volcanion could be making a comeback. Although, like I've said, we have got 2 different ways to take away your weakness. Now, in terms of attacks, the first attack here is just as good as it ever was. And I know we spent a while explaining why Metal is better than Dragon. Remember, I do put timestamps so you can flick to whichever attack you like in the description. The first attack allows you to draw until you've got 6 cards in your hand. This is amazing. It's a single energy attack on a basic Pokemon, which means it is very, very little effort to get rolling. You might need a Float Stone to get your current active out of the active, but that's alright, most decks are playing stuff like Float Stone anyway. The key here is, if it's early in the game, and you've got absolutely nothing rolling, and you just cannot draw into the things that you want, you don't have a supporter per se, You might even have one card in your hand. Well, this is Shaman's ability. This is awesome. Now, I suppose there's always a possibility that you just have 7 cards in your hand, but you can't play any of them and they're all a bit rubbish. Well, if it happens, it happens. The point is very simple. This gives you extra built-in consistency. And we've been using attacks like this for a while now. We've always been playing cards like Chatot, for instance, for consistency. And cards like Cleffa, for consistency. So I see no reason why we wouldn't then also be playing this for consistency. And there is even an argument here to just play this as a consistency booster in a deck that's playing Metal Energy. I'm not entirely sure you should, but you could. And let's face it, you can grab it with a turn 1 Bridget. It just gives you that option of going, I've got nothing in my hand, I've got no options for next turn, so let's go and use Dialga. Now, the second attack here I'm still not a huge fan of, though it has its uses. 80 damage, and any damage from this attack is not affected by any effects on the defending Pokemon. 80 damage for a metal double colorless is fine, and don't forget, of course, that we can use Magnezone, Solgaleo, etc. to get the energy on there quite nicely. Yay! But the point here is very simple. Sometimes you'll be against a card like Jolteon-EX, whose Flash Ray attack stops damage from attacks by basic Pokemon. And you might be playing an all-basic deck, and then you're thinking, hang on a second, this kind of sucks. Well, in comes Dialga and you're fine. You can just hit him for 80 and you're good. Although Jolteon does resist, which is kind of annoying, but you can't have everything, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, you'll probably be playing something like Magnezone anyway that you can hit it with, but the point is, this gives you an option if all of your attackers are basic. The thing is, the damage is a little bit low on this attack. You add a choice band, you're doing 220, which I suppose is all right. But that's not enough to get a one-hit KO on a Gardevoir. It is enough to get a one-hit KO on a Glaceon, but it's not enough to get a one-hit KO on a Gardevoir. But the reason why Dialga is so gosh darn good is the GX attack. And to be clear, it's an amazing, phenomenal card. Whether it's a dragon type or a metal type, it's just better as a metal type. 150 damage, and then it's your turn again. The GX attack here literally gives you 2 turns in a row, which is frankly ridiculous. Now, the reason it's better as a metal Pokemon here is, well, twofold. First of all, you've got Magnezone and Solgaleo. Now, don't get me wrong, I know you can use either of them to build up the Dragon-type Dialga, but it's more likely you're going to be playing the Metal type in a Metal deck. And the other thing, you've got Dhelmise. So it's easier to hit these numbers, because here's the thing, this is a great attack if you get a KO. So let's say, for argument's sake, you use a choice band, you're hitting 180, there's a KO on Tapu Lele. You use a Dhelmise, you're now hitting 190, that's a KO on a Buzzwole. Now, to be fair, you could do that with Devoured Field and a choice band using the Dragon-type Dialga, but then again, you wouldn't also be able to use Mount Coronet, which would be a bit annoying. But the great thing you can do with this Dialga is you could use multiple Dhelmise. So let's say, for argument's sake, use a choice band and 3 Dhelmise. Now you're hitting 210. That's a KO on a Zoroark. That's a KO on a Golisopod. Now we're talking. Whether you're actually going to put 3 Dhelmise on the bench, I don't know, but it's certainly an option. And then, of course, you're hitting for weakness here. So you're getting an easy KO without even a choice band on a Gardevoir or a Glaceon. You need to be getting 2 prizes while using this GX attack to really maximize its effectiveness. And when you're a metal type and you're hitting for weakness and you've got Dhelmise, now you're able to do so. And that is why I am such a big fan of Dialga as a metal Pokemon. It really is a phenomenal attack, it's just better on a metal Pokemon. Plus, you get better support. And then, of course, what you really want to do is get Dialga out of the active and put up a really great attacker, something like a Duskmane Necrozma, for instance, which, of course, you'll happily be playing in your metal deck with plenty of energy acceleration. Big fan of Dialga. I gave it 5 Wassies last time, and now you have a better typing, more support, and it's more likely you're going to get a KO for 2 prizes, it's still a 5 WOSI card. And I don't think there's any real argument about that. I am delighted that they are doing these alternate type GXs. I like Palkia more as a water type than I did as a dragon type, but I really like Dialga as a metal type. I'm glad they're doing it. Of course, as I record this, I'm not actually 100% sure they're doing it, but I'm 99% sure they're doing it, and that's why I made the video early. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about metal type Dialga. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the WOSI, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. Please check out my video game channel, WOSI Plays. I'm trying to build that one as well. If you subscribe and check out those videos, it will help me greatly. And if you want to support the channel, get some bonus pods and so on, you can do so by going to patreon.com/PTCGRadio. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.